Hello, this is George from Ophora. I'm going to teach you how to change out the pre-filters on a bio-quantum water station. So if we're going to change out the pre-filters, you'll need the pre-filters, obviously. Here's a carbon and a sediment. Sediment's the big one, and then carbon's a smaller one. So to begin, we have to remove the front door. And in order to remove the front door, we need to push down here on the sides, pull towards you, and that will release the door. There's a little spring inside of the door here that's supposed to be pushed down so it releases. So now that we did that, we can actually begin changing out the pre-filters. The pre-filters are located in the back here. Here they are. There's two of them right here in the back. So first things first is you want to turn off your water feed to the system. This will turn off the water to the system so it won't be producing any more water. Important we do that so we can remove the filter set so we can have easier access to it. Now after you turn off the ball valve here on the bottom of the unit, what I want you to do is pull out some water out of the unit. So I have my container here. I'm gonna pull about probably 4 cups out of here. That'll depressurize the unit. You might not need to do this if there's no water in your tank. So if there's no water in your tank, don't do this. This is just if you have water in the tank. It might be pressurized, and removing the fittings will be harder to impossible without removing some water first. So there's some water removed, and then now we can actually get to the filters themselves. So now that we're here, so we can go about it 2 ways. You can try changing them out while they're in there. You're gonna have a lot more limited space though. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to actually pull the filters out so you can work with it. So let me show you what to do first. There are a couple of connections I want you to get rid of first. Let me get a towel real quick. So here are the connections I want you to remove. The first one is up here, this ball valve here. So what I want you to do is just turn it off. Since we turned that off, now that ball valve is off. Now I'm gonna grab my towel and wrap it around this fitting. And in order to get rid of a fitting, your system might have these red clips in them like this. So if you have a red clip like that, what you should do is remove it first. So in order to do that, you just push this clip off of there. Pull it off, I mean. And then now that it's off, there's a little collar piece here that floats that's connected to the tubing. You can press down on it. So you can press down on it. And while you're pressing down on this collar piece, I want you to pull on the tubing itself. That should release it, and now you've released the tubing up to the tank. So once you do that, what I want you to do is make sure you don't get anything wet down here. If you get anything wet here, the leak sensor will go off. So try to make sure it's to limit the amount of water coming out of here. So I have the towel, and then next connection we want to remove is the drain here. So I'm gonna wrap my towel around there again. Again, there's a little collar piece here. I want you to push down and then pull it, and that pulls it out. So there you go. It's gonna be draining. This is the drain. See, there's water coming out of there. So just hold on till it stops leaking there. And then once we do that one, we have this one right here for the UV. I recommend turning off the machine first before doing this one. So unplug it so you don't shock yourself, and then once you unplugged it, you can push down on the sides here. There's tabs on both ends of here. Remember to turn it off, and then unplug it, and that should unplug the UV. Once you've unplugged the UV, we can actually grab this filter set and pull it out. The only connection still here is the one for the sediment down here, but we'll remove that one too in a little bit. But yeah, I just want you to pull it. Once we do that, we want to pull out the filters here. So to pull out the filters, you may have to loosen these screws here with a Phillips head screwdriver. Mine are already loosened, so I should be able to pull it out already. So to pull it out, you must lift it up, and then it goes out this way. So I pulled it out. Here's my set of filters now. I'm gonna flip it over right here. So now this is the back of the filter set, and this is where the sediment and the carbon pre-filters are. Sediment, carbon. So in order to change out these ones, we're gonna disconnect it from here where the fitting is. So let's start off with the sediment. Same situation as earlier. There's a little collar piece. If there's a red clip here, you do not want to, you want to pull it out first. So if there's a red clip here, you want to pull it out. Same side, there's a red clip, you want to pull it out. And so once you pull it out, what you want to do is push down on this collar piece. This collar piece is red. I'm going to push down on the collar piece, and I'm going to lift up the stem elbow. That's the stem elbow, and I've removed it from the sediment here. So now that I did that, I can go to this end right here. Same situation. If there's a red clip here, I'm going to pull it out. And then if there isn't, we're good. But I'm going to push down on this red collar piece and yank it up, the stem elbow. And that releases the sediment pre-filter. Now I'm going to yank it out. There's water coming out, obviously, so be careful with that. Let me get this water out of here. Okay. Alrighty. So now I got the water out of there. Now I got my my other pre-filter here. My new one, I mean. So the more bulbous end is the inlet, and then the part with no bulbous end is the outlet. So if we're looking at our filter set here, it should be this way. So, but first we have to remove these plugs. What you want to do is yank that one out, and then yank this one out. So these have plugs in them. Want to remove them. Same situation. Push down on the collar piece and yank up the plug. And then what you want to do is just sit it in there inside the hooks. And then once they're inside the hooks, we want to grab our stem elbow, stick them in there. That's how we our bottom one, we stick it in there. And then the other one from the top, that's coming off of this leak detector, that one's going to go on the inlet here. So here's the inlet. It's the more bulbous end, and then goes down here and then down here. So here's the inlet. Here's the top part where it goes into the ball valve on the leak detector, and then it travels down here, goes through here, and now we're on to our second post filter, second pre-filter, the carbon. So same situation as before. If there is a red clip on there, you're gonna want to remove it. So once you remove the red clip, we can push down on this blue collar piece, and then we can yank it up the stem elbow, and then that should release. So I got my little push down on my blue collar piece here, and I pulled on that stem elbow. And then the same thing on the bottom here, blue collar piece, I'm gonna press down, and then I'm gonna yank up, and that will release the bottom of it. So here's our pre-carbon, a new pre-carbon. Same situation, pull the plug out, and then pull this plug out, and that releases it. And then once you do that, we can pull out the old pre-filter. There you go, pull it out. This will have water in it too. Make sure you put it somewhere where it won't leak all over the place. And then you do that. And then, so this one's gonna be, the inlet is on the bottom here. So we're gonna push down. And then you notice how it's opposite from here. So here's the inlet. Push that in there. And then you're there. And then with your, where you pulled off the top of this carbon, you're gonna stick it in the top here. And then you're done. So that's changing out the pre-filters, and then you could just add your red clips back in if you can. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult to put back in. So it won't be the end of the world if you can't get it back in, that's fine. It's just, it just secures the tubing in there, so in case it gets jolted or anything, it won't come out. So now that we did that, we've replaced the two pre-filters. We can now go to we can put this back in there. Okay, so let's I'm gonna push my drain back in here like so I have more room to work with. And now what you want to do is pick up your filter set, make sure it's in there, make sure all your tubings are in there, and then slide it back in. Get it back on the screws here, and then you can tighten the screws back up, and then we can start reconnecting everything. So first things first, I'm going to reconnect the bulb here. So back here is the UV ballast. I have it here. So UV ballast is back there, in the back of the unit. I have the connection here and this connection, so I'm going to stick it back in there. And I'll move that back there. And then we'll connect our drain. The drain is in the back of the unit. If you don't know where it is, just follow the, look at the back, and then you'll see a drain labeled down there. And this is that drain. So this goes down into this piece right here, the RO piece, on the bottom of the RO filter. That's the drain. And then last thing we have to reconnect is the tank up here. So the tank, it's this one that's it's usually gray, and it goes up into the tank. If you don't know where that is, just look straight up in there and you'll see that this goes straight up into the tank. And you want to just reconnect it all the way in. Make sure they're all back in, because if they're not all the way in, these tubes, they will leak on you. So just make sure everything is inserted all the way. And then once everything's in, you feel everything's inserted all the way and everything's reconnected, we can actually start the RO again. So we turned this one off, so let's start this one back on. And then we turned off this one, so let's start that one back on. Obviously, if you got anything wet in here during this time, you're gonna need to reset your leak detector. Put a new towel in there, make sure you dry it up real good, and then reset the leak detector by pressing down on the button that's reset. So yeah, so that's how you change out the pre-filters on a Bioquantum. So after you do that, then you just put the door back on and you should be good. So put the door back on. Remember, there's a spring here. You want to match it up into this hole right here, and you want to push it in here, push down and push away from you. That should put the door back on, and then you're fine. And then just turn the machine back on, since we turned it off for the UV bulb, and you should be fine. So that's how you change out the pre-filters on a Bioquantum. If you have more questions or concerns, please let me know. Thank you, and bye-bye.